fun and games. After I bled the whole system, that caliper is dripping. A couple of drips on the wheel there over the last couple of days. So going to pull that caliper apart, see what's wrong with it, see whether it's fixable, replace the seals, or I may need to buy new calipers. That one's okay, so that's a bit annoying. Anyway, let's pull that apart, see what it looks like. So there we go, calipers are apart, pistons are popped out. The piston bores are really nice and clean, as are the piston walls. So I've just cleaned them all up, and I'm gonna reassemble them with new seals and O-rings between the two halves. Hopefully we won't get a leak and it'll be okay. What do you think, Ed? Gonna be all right, do you think? You reckon? I reckon too. So that's my caliper rebuild kit. That's what I need to be doing. So let's get busy with that. So there we go, calipers back together, pistons all cleaned up, piston bores cleaned up, new seals, new O-rings between the caliper halves. Yeah, so let's get them back on the car and bleed them up. I might give them a bit of paint first because they look a bit tatty now. So yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna leave them to dry overnight and then yeah, see how they go. Pretty good red lawn I've got now as well. So, calipers are back on the car, looking all lovely and shiny. All bled up, pedal feels good. No signs of any leaks or weeps, so that's all good. I'd say that was a right old success. Now the calipers are done, I can concentrate a little bit more on the water pipes or the water tubes. Now, I brought myself a pipe bender, which I shouldn't have, because a pipe bender is not right for bending tube. The dies are too wide. You measure tube on the outside diameter and the pipes on the internal diameter, which means these are too big. Now, I've watched enough YouTube videos to know it doesn't work with thin wall aluminium tubing. So that's going to a friend of mine. I may not need to bend it at all. I'm thinking, just because it's 32 mil, which isn't very much, just running it straight under the car and just seeing how I get on with it. I need a little bit of a bead around the tube ends so the hoses don't pop off.
So here we go. This is 2 lots of 5 metre length tubing, aluminium, 32mm or 1.25" outside diameter, 1.5mm wall thickness.
So there's my tubes cut to size. What I'm going to do now is anneal the ends so it makes it easier to press a bead into it. Just a ball bearing in my MIG pliers. So there we go, 2 10-foot tubes ready to go under the car. So while I've been away at work, these 2 silicone hose reducers have turned up. That's a 90-degree 38 to 32mm reducer. And you can see the aluminium tube running all the way to the front there. And I've got one the other side as well. So that's the water coolant to the radiator. And this is the coolant line coming back from the radiator. And we've got a 45-degree 32mm to 38mm hose reducer this side. So yeah, I'm going to get some P-clamps and then clip them into position or rivet them into position, but obviously I can't do that because I'll show you. The fronts will need trimming down first, so yeah, I'll get the radiator. The shell's got to come back. then the radiator's got to be held in position, and then we can trim these down and start concentrating on the front hoses. Ah, look what's just turned up. So I've got some 32mm stainless U-clamps. I'm probably going to double them up actually rather than one, because they're a bit thin. I think that'll work really nicely. Yeah, so that was good value for money, like 50 of them for £8 or something. Bargain. What I do need to do is fill the transaxle up with some gear oil. Hopefully my seals will be okay either side. They haven't been changed, but I think they were changed not too long ago. So gonna fill it up with some of this and hopefully it won't leak, he says. So there we go. That's full to the max. It's just the excess is just running off, and then we can put the bung back in. Bung plug. So my mate's dropping the body shell back off tomorrow, so I need to get this over here again. So yeah, here we go again. Finally, that's nestled away in the corner, leaving this space free for the body shell, which is turning up tomorrow. Right, I'm going to show you the paint that I bought for the car. The reason I bought the paint earlier, or early at this stage, is because when the body comes back tomorrow, I want to paint the engine bay and the front trunk area. Oh man. And I want to do that before the body goes onto the chassis. So, oh man alive, what a mess. So I'm going to show you guys what colour I've chosen. It's RAL 5024. So what's RAL 5024, I hear you ask? I'm going to show you. There it is, folks. Pastel blue. Kind of in keeping with the 1970s RSR type of colour. Maybe some white stripes, maybe not. Who knows? Ooh, that stinks. I love that smell. So there we go, the shell's back. I'm going to be painting the engine bay in body colour. And I'll also be painting this front area in body colour as well. Right, just been doing a bit more flatting of the existing paint. It's quite a nice shape really. When you run your hand along it, you can feel that there's a little bit of work that needs doing, a little bit of filler work. But generally it's a really good shape, really happy. What I'm doing, I'm just measuring up the RSR wide bumper. I'm going to need to cut these edges off. They kind of need dropping and moving over an inch, but that's okay. That's the beauty of fiberglass. You can just chop bits around. Just thought I'd show you this as well. Another section that needs work. Well, it all needs work, but this B pillar has got metal work in it which has rusted through, so that's nice. So that's going to need a little bit of TLC. I'm not sure how to do that yet because there's a bend on that piece of metal there, so I can probably cut this section out and kind of just tack weld a new metal section in, but it needs some thought. Got holes in that bit as well. Right, Right, I've just had the Dremel and I've been poking around in here a bit more and made a bit of a channel around there. So that's a little steel plate made up. What I'm going to do, I think, rather than bond it in position, is just tack weld it, but just kind of on the corners. I don't need to go bananas. Just a couple around the top and then take a few down there. So we'll give that a go and see how it looks. It's turned out really well. Really pleased with that. So I'm just going to make a little plate to fit that area there, and then we can start fiberglassing it in.